So, Greg Behrendt, welcome to The Art.
Yeah.
You're a comic, first and foremost.
Right.
A musician, a writer, a podcaster, a performer, a playwright, television host. What did I leave out?
I play, what do you do?
I'm talking about your show.
Oh my God, yes, that is right. That is right. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. The King Sweater. Yes. No, you're right. I rarely give myself titles. When I'm doing something, I'm just being, like you're like, I'm me now doing this. I never think of myself as the thing that we're doing, which might help actually when I do it. Because if you don't, then you go, I'm not a playwright. And it's like, well, then stop writing a play.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't come to see not a play.
Right.
Right. Well, I'm not a screenwriter. Then please don't, because there's way too many people in line.
Let's talk about the King Sweater.
The King Sweater was, I have to write a brand new hour. And so I thought, well, why not write about those 2 years that I spent in Japan as a rockabilly star, which I had never.
It's
so
cool.
And so I'll write about and I had this story in my head about how, I was at a party and I met a guy who booked bands overseas to play army bases, and he literally he hired this old rockabilly guy who had been in Bill Haley's band and died in the lobby of his apartment building, and he needed an act quickly. And I told him, on mushrooms, I know all the rockabilly songs and I can sing. And then audition for him while I'm on mushrooms. And neither of us know what's happening, but next thing I know, I'm going to Japan. And I go, and I've got this all-girl band, and we go and play a few gigs, and they're terrible. I don't know what I'm doing. And we get fired, and we get sent back to Tokyo. And but while I'm waiting around to go home, they said, well, look, you had like 5 or 6 songs together. Why don't you, there's a show band called Shonen Knife. Why don't you just go open for them? We'll get you the gig. Somebody got me a gig, so I have somebody to go home. So we go and play this gig, and then Shonen Knife likes us and takes us on tour. That's what Mary, you playing all those, because I was playing TV commercials and old American TV commercials and the cartoon theme songs.
And they loved it.
They loved it. They were like, go on tour. I write an original song, the band and I do, it becomes a hit. At the same time, I invent my own hair product out of necessity. And so I get my own hair care line, and then I insult the emperor.
It just sounds like a dream come true.
It was like, the thing about it was, times where I go, well, I'm just going to have to be a loose genius that can kind of figure it out. So on some nights it would come across, and some nights people go, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what you're... This did happen. Most of the time people were like, even though I say a couple times, none of this is real, they would say, what parts of Japan? And I had done, I've never been to Japan, but I did a lot of research, and I remember the era, and it was quite involved. It doesn't matter what it is. I just have created a past I didn't have, and I'm telling it interestingly. It doesn't lean on any one thing.
Yeah.
Other than me then eventually insulting Hirohito, who was alive at that point still, and then being kicked out of the country for good.
Yeah.
Well,
and it's yours. So who cares about it? It's that point where you say there's a part of you, a component of your work that can be the work you do in a very small room that you want to do, and then there can be other work that you do.
But it's still in me. Like, that's the kind of stuff that spends all its time in me. So then in my head, none of the projects I have are dead. They're just on the back burner, right?
Nice.
I was walking out of the Bring the Rock show in San Francisco the other night, and there were a couple of fan people, and they had photos for me to sign, and they were the photo from the King Sweater with the plaid suit and the blue hair, and got my fist up. And I thought, okay, well, maybe this is a thing to revisit at some point, just cut to the chase and do the thing that you like.
Hey artists, that was Greg Behrendt. Check out Greg's show, The King Sweater, coming up at Dynasty Typewriter in Los Angeles, Friday, June 7th at 8 p.m.